All right, day 4. By the way, don't know if every single day is going to get its own video, but perhaps, and so far. Day 4. Been up for a while. It's like 11 o'clock. Going to, man, really losing my train of thought here early on. Woke up early because leaving tomorrow. So have a few long drives in the next week or so. So even though there's not like poker going on downstairs yet, had to wake up pretty early. So we'll be done with everything I need to do today though by like 1 o'clock. Probably some high end going on in the poker room. And even if there's only one table going, I'll be down there at like 12, 1, 2 or something. And play, probably not 12, maybe 1 or 2. What else is going on? Okay, tomorrow, big day, because I will be in a place I have been in my life, never been on the channel. Also, if the timing of the day goes right, I will be filming a poker room that I've never shown on the channel also. So I did a lot of those videos during that road trip in October, and then also in November, December, when I was in Atlantic City and the Eastern Pennsylvania area, showcasing a poker room I've never played on the channel before. That part of the trip starts tomorrow. Okay, gonna go down and play soon. Interesting, I glanced at Bravo and didn't really think about this. 2040, let me show you the Bravo page right now. 2040 stud is going on downstairs. That's unbelievable. That would be cool to play, way too big. I would just be bleeding big bets of $40 all over the place. But there's also, I think it's like today's Thursday, like every Thursday that runs. And like some days of the week have like a feature game. That's cool. Potawatomi in Milwaukee used to do that. Anyway, not gonna play that, but there is, of course, 4-8 limit, of course, 1-2 no limit, 2-2 PLO. There's a seat open, might jump into that. We'll see when I get downstairs. Excited to look at Bravo and see what games were going on. That's cool. But also wanted to tell you, so I put up the map, how I got from Long Island to Atlantic City, and there will be more map pictures in the future. Saw some of the comments on that though, and okay. Long Island and the city area could be confusing. Long Island is not a city, it's also not a borough. Rice, what's a borough? I don't know. I know that there are 5 of them. I don't know exactly what that means. So, just wanted to give you a little background, and I'll show you something in a minute when I'm done talking. But the state, New York is a state. The US has 50 states. New York is a state. New York is also a city, officially New York City. Those 3 words. Manhattan and New York City, same thing. There are 5 boroughs in and around the city. One of the boroughs is Manhattan. The second one is Brooklyn. The third is Queens, also Staten Island, also the Bronx. So if you were addressing an envelope, you wouldn't put those things. They're too vague. For instance, in Queens, Queens is the borough, but within it there are cities. Long Island City is in Queens, but if someone lived in Long Island City, you would be addressing the letter Long Island City, comma, NY. Corona is another. Flushing, so the New York Mets play, they used to play at Shea Stadium, now they play at Citi Field. The stadium is in Flushing. That's the city, which is in Queens, the borough, which is on Long Island, the island, which is in the state of New York. So, gets confusing. So, east of Queens and Brooklyn are the 2 boroughs of the 5 that are on Long Island. So if you were in Queens or Brooklyn and you wanted to go to Manhattan, you would need to use a tunnel or a bridge to get there. They're on Long Island, which is an island. East of those is the rest of Long Island, and the rest of Long Island is more spread out. In Queens and Brooklyn, you have a lot of, there are houses, there are apartments. The houses are going to be like townhouses, or they're going to just be houses with like very small yards. Smaller houses, they're narrow, not much of a front yard, not much of a backyard, although they do exist. You go east of Queens and Brooklyn, and it's, the residential areas are suburbs. So most of Long Island is suburban residential areas, and each plot is about 1/3 of an acre. That's pretty common. The front yard plus the actual house plus the backyard, the homeowner's plot is about 1/3 of an acre. So there are some really rich areas. The Hamptons, I mean, huge estates. There's also, forget the name of it, but on the western half, on the north side of Long Island, there's another area that's like similar in like layout to the Hamptons. Like the richest industrial businessmen from like 120 years ago used to live there. Something like that. Can't remember the name of the area though. So there it is in New York, Long Island, the boroughs. A little complicated. Hope this was clear. And also, before I go downstairs and play possibly PLO, wanted to show you this to make it a little bit clearer. So say this is your address on Long Island. Okay, 123 Main Street, Kings Park, New York, 12345. Okay, 123 Main Street, that's your house address, and that's the street you live on. Okay, that's fairly clear, I think, I hope. Kings Park, I, in a recent video, said Long Island has many towns. This is the city. So if you're addressing a package, and in the second line, you need to put city, comma, state abbreviation, zip code. This is the city. I would call it a town because it's like a fairly small area that's suburban. There's not like a huge population density. There aren't like massive skyscrapers like the Empire State Building. Like, so I say town, but this is the city. And then New York is the state abbreviation, and then you need to put the zip code. So again, hope I made things clearer, not muddier. I am back in my room. Day 4 is winding up, winding down. It's about over, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. Rich was at my same 1-2 table. Nice to meet you, Rich. Probably not going to see you tomorrow since I'm leaving tomorrow. Do need to say 2 tables were going. Once I got down there, 2 tables of 2040 stud. That's awesome. The 2-2 PLO was not going anymore. If that were the only game with a seat open, I would have definitely sat. If that game had a seat open and a 1-2 no limit had a seat open, I'm not sure what I would have done. But it was moot anyway, because by the time I got down there, that was done. But a second 2040 stud was going. Just really cool that 2040 stud is going. But I just played 1-2 no limit the whole time. We got kind of short, and it's getting kind of late, and I have some things to do. And an early morning. Did get my first double up of the year. That's why I think in the last scene when you saw me carrying chips through the casino, there were a bunch of black chips on top. I had a pair, got all in, other guy never showed. Interesting thing about Harrah's Atlantic City, that Keno cage, I don't even think Keno runs anymore. That cage is almost never being operated by an employee. There is a cage very close to the poker room, but it never really has someone there. Even back in the day when it did have employees there, it would shut down fairly early in the night. So when you buy in, just go to the table, put cash on the table, and when you cash out, a lot of people color up because you're gonna have to walk across the casino floor to go to the main cage. So that's why I was walking across the casino floor with chips. There's no other way to get cash. You can't get cash in the poker room when you're done playing. They can color you up, but you gotta go to the main cage to exchange the chips and get cash. So there you go. Enjoyed my 4 days in Atlantic City. And if you're wondering, Rice, you didn't show us any Wawa. Did you even go to Wawa? I did not. As much as I love it, Wawa is getting expensive. Plenty of other restaurants I haven't gone to in years because they got too expensive too quickly. Wawa's getting there. When I went to Baltimore in October, for one, I hadn't been there in a while, so I was really like craving some. But they have an occasional deal where every 10-inch sandwich is only $6. That's solid. When that deal is not going on, a lot of 10-inch sandwiches are between like $7.50 and $9. It's not that great of a deal. I don't really love the price of a lot of the sides. You get meatballs, mac and cheese, there's a lot on that menu, but not really a fan of too many of the prices. The one thing where the price is still tiny, the pretzels and the cheese sauce. I think the half pretzel is like 90 cents and the full soft pretzel is $1.80, and the cheese sauce I think is $1 or like 90 cents or something. Thing is, don't want to be eating tons of cheese sauce. Have no idea what's in there. Can't be anything good for you. So I'm not just going there getting like 5 pretzels and 5 cups of cheese sauce. So did not go this trip, but probably at the end of the year I'll get some Wawa on the way back. So I am gonna do a lot of editing and get to sleep, and tomorrow drive into a city I've never shown you on the channel. And remember, rice is a spoon food.